Um, WWPBDD. What does that stand for? What would Patrick Bet David do? You know, I've been a subscriber to his show for a while, even though, I'm not really a pro billionaire, but I think and this will tie into our final topic later, but there's a link between billionaires and socialists that a lot of people don't consider. And um, I think he's like a decent person. He might be one of the nicest billionaires out there, more so than that Mavericks owner guy. That, from what I can tell, he might be the more down. Like he has his own podcast, right? At Valuetainment. So, what would Patrick bet David? He seems like a reasonably intelligent guy. Like, is he worth? No one's worth $1 billion. But if with the right start and a right amount of luck in life, you and I don't know if he has the same kind of survivor bias as other successful people. There's a lot of people in life are basically, if you're successful, the again luck and um, basic starting conditions. If maybe you're prettier, right? Maybe you're uh, uh, got a nicer voice. Maybe just something genetically about you. Maybe you're 6 foot tall. Did you know that people, and this is a quite disturbing thing to know about the nature of humans, but the taller you are, the more money you make on average. It's just data out there. Height is higher correlated, and that's not just like because more men are taller and men get paid more. No, that's within men just itself. If you just look at a population of men, the shorter you are, the less money you're going to make on average, and the taller, like maybe up to a certain height, it gets a little ridiculous. But I'll say of anywhere from, you know, if you're 5 feet to 6 foot 6, which would be kind of the maybe 4 foot 5 or something like that, up to 7 feet would be uh, almost all humans out there. It's a linear thing, and so their genetics are a big part of like the where you're born, the luck of that. That's what determines success in life. But Patrick Bet David makes he's a rational. He's a kind of guy that if you explain to him, hey, you know what, socialism is better. You'd actually make more money. Look at Jack Ma, right? China does have billionaires, and just because you have to let the government sometimes step in and say no to market monopolies. And there's so many monopolies in Canada and the U.S. That it's rational that uh, like if there is a monopoly, that's actually okay if the prices are regulated, right? The government has to step in on monopolies and regulate pricing, because that's the whole reason you tolerate monopolies in the first place, is to allow that end game move. Now, I don't know if Patrick Bet David's enterprises would be affected by this, but he seems like the kind of guy that would be rational and go, you know what, maybe the government, for if it benefits me, like if I'm going to make more money out of it, and I have, effectively more purchasing power in the game of money. Why would, like, he seems like the guy who'd be rational enough to think that far. That uh, that if you're a billionaire, that's what you should do, right? It's your fiduciary responsibility to do that. Like if socialism makes sense financially, then you're for socialism. It's just how it is. Like China is a socialist country, and they have billionaires too. So, what would Patrick Bet David do in a socialist America? I don't know. I think he'd do well though. I think his valuetainment show, and he'd modify it a bit and just maybe educate those around him. He'd probably be a really good educator of the new systems. But right now, if the U.S. goes over the fiscal cliff, you might not have a choice, America. You might be heavily influenced by those that have lent to you, and that includes some you know, a wealthier country than yourself, China. And just so we're clear, the only reason the U.S. has a higher GDP is because it includes non-real assets that don't affect actual wealth. So it's kind of an artificial number that the U.S. can claim. Yeah, so that's what WWPBDD stands for. I don't know why I wrote that. I just thought it would be a curious acronym.